Fearlessness in women is not just about facing danger, it's about standing tall in a world that often tests their strength, patience, and resilience. Women have carried the weight of families, dreams, and societies on their shoulders, and still they rise with grace. Their fearlessness is not born from the absence of fear, but from their courage to move forward despite it. Resilience is the invisible armor every woman wears throughout her life. From a young age, she learns to balance responsibilities, expectations, and emotions, often without acknowledgement. Society may try to limit her potential, yet she finds ways to rise above the barriers. Whether it's managing a career, raising a family, or pursuing education in the face of hardship, a woman's spirit is shaped by perseverance. Her ability to withstand difficulties and still move forward defines her strength. She doesn't allow challenges to destroy her. Instead, she allows them to build her character. When life tests her patience, she responds with endurance. When the world doubts her, she proves her worth through action. Every scar, every failure, and every sleepless night adds another layer to her resilience. Women carry emotional, physical, and mental battles silently, yet their smiles remain radiant. Their strength is not loud, it's quiet, steady, and enduring. They adapt, they evolve, and they never give up, even when the odds are against them. This ability to keep going, even when no one believes in them, is what makes their resilience so powerful. A woman's resilience is also seen in her ability to rebuild herself after pain. She may fall apart, but she always gathers the broken pieces and creates something even stronger. Whether she is recovering from heartbreak, loss, or disappointment, she finds a way to stand tall again. Her journey is never about perfection. It's about progress. Each time she rises, she sends a message to the world that she cannot be defeated. This strength inspires not only herself, but everyone who witnesses her journey. Resilience is not just survival, it is transformation. Women transform their pain into wisdom, their struggles into stories, and their setbacks into success. They do not allow life's storms to define them. They use those storms to refine their souls. Their courage lies in their ability to face what others fear and emerge even stronger. Through resilience, women prove that true fearlessness doesn't mean the absence of fear, but the determination to keep walking through it with unwavering strength and hope. True courage is not the absence of fear, it is the strength to embrace it. For women, vulnerability becomes a reflection of their deepest courage. They are not afraid to show their emotions, express their struggles, or admit their pain. In a world that often tells them to be tough and silent, they find power in being open and authentic. A woman's ability to share her truth, whether it's her fears, her dreams, or her doubts, reveals a rare kind of bravery. She knows that showing vulnerability doesn't make her weak, it makes her real. And realness takes far more strength than pretending to be unbreakable. Courage in vulnerability is about standing in front of the world without masks. Women face emotional storms and life's harsh realities, yet they don't hide behind walls. Instead, they let their honesty become their shield. When a woman speaks from her heart, she breaks barriers that silence others. Her tears, laughter, and raw emotions are not signs of fragility. They are proof of her humanity. She carries within her the wisdom that being open allows healing, and through that healing she finds her power. Vulnerability allows her to connect with others on a deeper level, spreading strength through empathy and truth. When a woman dares to be vulnerable, she creates space for others to do the same. Her courage becomes contagious, inspiring those around her to shed their fears and be authentic. Through her openness, she builds trust, understanding, and compassion. In workplaces, families, and friendships, her honesty becomes a bridge that unites hearts. She teaches that courage is not found in silence or perfection, but in the willingness to share one's journey, even when it's imperfect or uncertain. Her vulnerability transforms pain into purpose and fear into freedom. This courage to remain soft in a world that demands hardness is what sets women apart. They face heartbreak, betrayal, and disappointment, yet they continue to love deeply. They face failure, yet they keep believing. It takes immense bravery to keep one's heart open after being hurt. And that is the essence of courage in vulnerability. Women remind the world that strength is not about hiding emotions, but about having the power to reveal them, to stand tall while being real, and to let their truth shine, no matter how difficult the path becomes. The strength of a woman often shines brightest through her ability to nurture, to give care, love, and support even when she herself is weary. Nurturing is not simply an act of kindness. It is a powerful expression of emotional intelligence and endurance. Women carry within them a natural instinct to protect, heal, and uplift those around them, whether it's a mother comforting her child, a sister offering guidance, or a leader empowering her team. The nurturing nature of a woman becomes a source of inspiration and stability. She finds fulfillment in helping others grow, and in doing so, she reveals a strength that is both tender and unshakable. Nurturing takes courage because it requires selflessness. A woman often puts the needs of others before her own, sacrificing time, comfort, and even personal dreams for the sake of those she loves. Yet, she does it with grace and without expecting recognition. Her nurturing spirit is not a sign of weakness, but of great inner power. The ability to give even when she is running on empty. She understands that true strength is not about dominance, but about compassion, patience, and empathy. Her ability to care deeply makes her resilient in ways that are unseen but deeply felt. Through nurturing, women become the emotional backbone of families, workplaces, and communities. They bring warmth to cold spaces, calm to chaos, and hope to despair. Their nurturing presence reminds people of love, forgiveness, and understanding, qualities that hold humanity together. Even in positions of leadership or authority, women lead with empathy, blending firmness with compassion. This balance of strength and softness creates harmony wherever they go. It is through nurturing that women influence others not by command, but by care. A power that transforms hearts and inspires loyalty. Moreover, nurturing strengthens women from within. It teaches them patience, emotional resilience, and the beauty of giving without expecting in return. Every act of kindness they offer comes back to them in the form of inner peace and fulfillment. They find purpose in being the light for others and strength in being the pillar that others lean on. Nurturing allows women to connect to the very essence of humanity, love, compassion, and unity. Reminds the world that strength does not always roar. Sometimes it whispers through a caring touch, a comforting word, or an act of quiet sacrifice. Throughout history, women have been defined by the barriers they dared to break. In every generation, they have risen to challenge the limits placed upon them, whether in education, careers, or social expectations. Breaking barriers is not merely about defying rules. It's about rewriting them. Women have shown the world that they are not bound by roles or labels. Every time a woman steps into a space where she was once told she doesn't belong, she redefines what is possible. Her courage to push boundaries inspires others to dream bigger and to fight for equality, opportunity, and respect. The path to breaking barriers is never easy. It is often filled with criticism, judgment, and countless obstacles. But a woman's determination to move forward, even when the world tries to hold her back, is what makes her fearless. She learns to turn rejection into redirection and pain into power. Each obstacle becomes a stepping stone, strengthening her will and sharpening her focus. Women break barriers not only for themselves, but for the generations that follow. For every young girl who dreams of a world where her voice is heard and her worth is recognized. Breaking barriers also requires a deep sense of self-belief. A woman must often stand alone, trusting her vision when no one else does. She must silence the voices of doubt, both external and internal, and move forward with conviction. This inner strength allows her to face challenges with grace and determination. From leading nations to creating art, from building businesses to excelling in science, Women have proven that their potential knows no limits. Each achievement becomes a symbol of progress, a reminder that strength is not determined by gender but by willpower. Moreover, every woman who breaks a barrier creates a ripple effect. Her success becomes a message of hope for others who feel confined by societal walls. She becomes a role model, a trailblazer, and a beacon of change. Her actions challenge outdated beliefs and inspire transformation in families, institutions, and cultures. The courage to break barriers is not just personal triumph, it is a collective victory that uplifts others. Women who dare to step beyond limits remind the world that progress begins when courage overcomes fear and when determination refuses to bow before restriction. Empathy is often seen as a gentle quality, but in women it becomes a profound source of power. It allows them to understand, connect, and uplift others in ways that logic alone cannot. A woman's empathy gives her the ability to see beyond words, to sense emotions, and to respond with compassion. This emotional intelligence enables her to build strong relationships and lead with humanity. Her ability to feel deeply does not make her weak. It gives her insight into the hearts of others. Through empathy, she becomes a healer, a guide, and a bridge between people who might otherwise remain divided. Her power lies not in domination, but in connection, in her capacity to care deeply and act meaningfully. Empathy allows women to handle challenges with both strength and sensitivity. Whether as mothers, daughters, leaders, or friends, they bring understanding to situations that demand patience and perspective. Their ability to stand in someone else's shoes fosters unity and cooperation. In workplaces, it allows women to lead with fairness. In families, it helps them nurture harmony. In society, it gives them the courage to fight for justice. Empathy gives women a quiet confidence, the kind that does not need to control, but instead empowers others to grow. It transforms conflicts into conversations and pain into healing. A woman's empathy also becomes her compass in a world that can often be harsh and unkind. It helps her see the goodness in people, even when circumstances seem dark. She understands that kindness is not a weakness, but a force that can change hearts and transform lives. Her compassion often becomes the light that guides others through their struggles. In moments of adversity, her empathy helps her remain grounded, calm, and composed. She does not respond to hate with hate, but with understanding and grace. And in doing so, she teaches others the strength that lies in gentleness. Moreover, empathy gives women the ability to inspire change on a larger scale. Many great movements for equality, peace, and humanity have been led by women whose empathy ignited courage. Their ability to feel the pain of others and act upon it has brought transformation across communities and nations. Empathy allows women to lead not through fear, but through love, a force more enduring and influential than any form of power. It reminds the world that true leadership is not about authority. It is about compassion, awareness, and the courage to care when others choose indifference. The voice of a woman has always been one of the most powerful forces for transformation in the world. When a woman chooses to speak, she doesn't just express her own truth, she echoes the unspoken feelings of countless others who have been silent. Her voice carries the weight of generations that came before her, and it lights the path for those yet to come. Women who speak up challenge norms, question injustice, and ignite movements. Whether it's through words, actions, or art, their voices become symbols of resistance, hope, and empowerment. Every time a woman dares to speak her truth, she shifts the world toward fairness and equality, one word at a time. Using her voice often requires immense courage. Society has not always been kind to women who stand firm in their beliefs or challenge the status quo. Yet it is precisely this defiance that defines their fearlessness. A woman's voice can shake power structures, question traditions, and inspire reform. From the smallest acts of protest to leading global movements, women have proven that silence is never the answer to injustice. They raise their voices not for fame or recognition, but for justice, dignity, and truth. Even when faced with criticism or danger, they refuse to retreat. their conviction becomes stronger, and their message unstoppable. The beauty of a woman's voice lies in its diversity. Every woman speaks from her unique experience, and together these voices form a powerful chorus for change. Some speak softly through education and compassion. Others roar through activism and leadership. But all share a common purpose: to make the world more inclusive, fair, and kind. Their voices challenge oppression, advocate for equal rights, and bring attention to causes often ignored. When women speak, they bring balance to the world. A balance of reason and empathy, logic and heart, power and peace. Through their voices, they shape a world where everyone can be heard and valued. Moreover, when women use their voices, they empower others to find their own. A single voice raised in truth can awaken hundreds more, sparking a chain reaction of awareness and action. Women teach the world that silence is not strength, and that words, when spoken with sincerity, can build nations and heal wounds. Their voice becomes a mirror of courage and conviction, reminding us that change doesn't begin with power. It begins with the willingness to speak. And once a woman's voice rises, it can never truly be silenced, for it carries the essence of truth, justice, and unstoppable progress. Grace under pressure is one of the most remarkable qualities that define a fearless woman. No matter how chaotic or challenging life becomes, she maintains her composure and strength with quiet confidence. Her calm presence in the face of adversity is not an act of denial. It is a reflection of inner discipline and self-control. When others lose hope, she becomes the anchor that keeps everything steady. Her ability to manage stress, pain, and uncertainty without letting it consume her reveals her true power. A woman's grace does not mean she doesn't feel the weight of her struggles. It means she carries them with dignity and courage. Even when life tests her beyond measure, a woman's grace shines through her actions, words, and decisions. She knows that anger or panic will not solve her problems, so she chooses patience instead. Her silence often speaks louder than confrontation, and her calmness becomes her greatest weapon. Grace under pressure is not about pretending to be strong. It's about being strong enough to stay kind even when life is unkind. Women have a natural ability to find balance between strength and sensitivity, allowing them to face crises with poise while still staying true to their humanity. This delicate balance makes them not just survivors, but symbols of endurance and inspiration. A woman's grace also inspires those around her to stay composed during hardships. Whether she's leading a family through financial struggles or managing a team through professional setbacks, her steadiness becomes contagious. People often look to her for reassurance, drawn to the quiet power she exudes. Her grace is not rooted in privilege or comfort. It is built from experience, sacrifice, and emotional intelligence. She understands that every difficult moment is temporary, and her ability to remain grounded during chaos gives others the courage to believe in stability and hope. Through her example, she teaches that grace is not submission, but strength wrapped in calmness. Moreover, grace under pressure reflects a woman's deep emotional maturity. She has learned that life will not always go as planned, but losing control only gives power to the problem. So, she chooses to rise with elegance, to speak with wisdom, and to act with intention. Even in times of heartbreak, disappointment, or failure, she refuses to let negativity define her. Her grace allows her to navigate through the storms of life without losing her identity or value. It's this rare ability to remain kind, steady, and purposeful under pressure that makes a woman appear truly fearless, even when she's quietly fighting her toughest battles. A woman's fearlessness is not born from a life free of struggle. It is built through every challenge she has faced and every storm she has survived. Her courage, resilience, empathy, and grace weave together to create a strength that is both powerful and peaceful. She doesn't seek validation from the world. Her confidence comes from within. She stands tall not because life is easy, but because she has learned to rise every time it tried to bring her down. Every woman, in her own way, carries a story of silent battles, unseen sacrifices, and unspoken victories. Behind every fearless smile lies a journey of endurance and growth. Her power is not in shouting to be heard, but in the quiet assurance that she is enough, capable, worthy, and unstoppable. The world may test her limits, but it can never dim her light. Fearless women are the heartbeat of progress, the soul of compassion, and the voice of change. They redefine strength through their kindness and prove that true bravery is not in fighting against fear, but in walking through it with purpose and dignity. They remind us all that power doesn't always roar. Sometimes it simply stands firm, smiles, and keeps moving forward.